My buddy Sam Ellis used to work for them. And they signed Dick Wolf from Law and Order.
Dun,
and dun dun. The criminal justice system. The people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups. Anyway, I know the rest of it. I won't bore you. But Dick Wolf had this a huge Law and Order fan. So he had this Web3 mystery game. And I was like, whoa, that's a great idea. And so that's kind of where this all came from. But I haven't really seen anything done like this yet. I might be wrong.
This week episode is brought to you by None of Secret Supply of Sauce, the best sauce known to mankind and available on shelf anywhere. Even when the freezer is full of sauce, there is still no sauce for you. You want some of Nona's sauce? Too bad, only Nona decides who gets the sauce.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 5 of the Zilly Award-winning Papa Mags Pinecast. Mags, how was Game of Thrones?
Oh, it was good. I mean, it was okay. It's what, you never know if you're going to get a lot of killing or what. There was, I'll leave the spoilers out of it, but just glad it's a Game of Thrones season. So looking forward to the rest of it. You're not into this one though, right?
Oh no, I just love the being pushed back here. New time zone.
Well, I got to account for how long Game of Thrones is going to be.
It's all good.
It hits game time, you got to push it off. I'm not as professional as you watching playoff hockey.
Mostly paying attention while doing so too.
Yeah, exactly. True professional, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, that was a little tough. And honestly, I carried a little more of the load than I wanted to while trying to watch the hockey game. But hey, what are you going to do?
Yep.
So WWZ. We got a big tourney in the works, 22-man single elimination bracket style.
Or woman.
My apologies to the 3 or 4 women that listen to us.
That many?
This is a very interesting looking bracket if I've ever seen one.
It was. I crapped out of my first match.
Well, it looks like. Well, all right. So you crapped out to somebody that made the final 4, though. So it doesn't count for anything, but at least, you can say that.
It was a 1-on-1 we were both in the kill zone. So the next hit was going to land. And
it's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as of recording, we were in Final 4 today. The Final 4 is now down to the Final 2. Which will have happened yesterday if you're listening on Tuesday morning. And our finalists are, congratulations, A Salty and Rev Wrapped, a.k.a. Raptorious.
Raptorious. Oh, hey, Raptorious.
Well done.
Thank you.
No, that's, hey, any Biggie reference, I'm all good with.
Oh, that's Biggie? Who knew?
Notorious.
Oh, I thought that was an original Beats by Mags, but
yeah, the Raptorious part was absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would consider this a well done and successful WWZ tournament.
Well, and it's kind of like an inaugural. How you ever say that? Basically, people could do this in other Discords.
As they might say, proof of concept.
Proof of concept. Proof of what was that function? Concapt?
Oh, concatenate.
Proof of concatenate. Yee. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, that is. Hey, concatenate. I'm a big fan.
Hey, some people excel at it though,
Some people do excel at it. That is absolutely true.
Oh my God. So I've mentioned before on this show, I assume we're done. I'm just taking the segue. So I'm going to go with it.
Please.
I've mentioned this mystery recaps on the YouTube. So it's hysterical. So I try to watch all of them every day. It's like a little treat where this Canadian dude basically just recaps these movies so you don't even have to watch them for the most part.
I do remember this, yes.
So anyways, they changed the format of it. He used to start like back in the day. He's been on like 3 years or so, plus or minus a year, I guess. And he used to start, he's like, "Hello, mystery recaps here, and today we are going to be looking at," and he'd go into the film, whatever. So basically, for the past 309 days or something, he just has been going right into it. And there's been a guy on YouTube or girl who said like, "Hey, can you bring back the old intro?" Every fucking thing for three. And so the guy on Mystery Recaps called him out. He's like, okay, well, he showed like a screenshot. He goes, okay, it's been 309 days since I've done this intro, and looks like this guy, wants it done. So let's get into it. And he did the intro, which was pretty hysterical, I think.
Oh, nice. So he counted himself. He got counted up.
Yeah, I mean, does he have to do it? If basically it's the top liked comment on all the dude's videos, on Mr. Recap's videos. Every time they put a video is, "Hey, it's day so and so since you got rid of the old intro," and he's just been counting Mr. Recaps up. So Mr. Recaps finally said, "Okay, let's bring back the old intro." So yeah, congrats to that guy who wanted accountability on Mystery Recaps to bring back the old intro.
Yeah. The power of the reverse countdown.
$20 though, dude. Nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. I mean, even like you hearing the words coming out of my mouth, and I've mentioned it before, but I don't think anyone's gonna remember that shit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I'll forget it again until you mention it next time.
Right. But just count ups aren't always for Papa Max.
No, but this might have been butterfly effect from us, but
Yeah,
can't really take that. We're too humble to take that credit.
it's true. It's true.
So congratulations to you, Camp Theta sale this week.
Oh well, yeah. I probably broke even on all my purchases.
That's
Believe it or not.
winning.
Minton and the open sloths I was buying. So which is, I have a lot of sloths, and those are like one of the deadly sins,
It is. Yeah, one of the 7.
Yeah, one of the 7. So and so I sold both my tickets, made up my money. Panimals is back, or Into the Wilderverse is back with the Panama season on the Open Theta. So people should buy some of these crabs or whatever they can on the market if they don't already have one. Because last I checked, it was like 50 or 51 people that had the NFT. So we got to pamp those numbers,
For sure. We need more people getting crabs here.
Yeah. Oh, and the Etch-a-Sketch that I also
Yeah.
won. So
And actually going to Camp Theta.
and actually going to Camp Theta. Right. Isn't that weird?
So, unfortunately, it wasn't sold to last year's winner, though. It was sold to a previous participant, though, right? This is going to be his 3rd year.
3rd year.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
So he must have
3rd
had a
year.
good time.
Everyone, even last year's winner, which is funny because there was a mention about, I guess Swampy must have got back and was checking up some of these old episodes because he was in Deutschland for a little bit, right? He was saying like offering 4,000 T fuel, and he goes, if you listen to the episode, or like it might have been the next episode, he's like, Mags talked about how I pulled that offer and I bought a Tygon crest for the challenges. So,
La-di-da-di-da.
hey, at least he listens. I'll take that. He might not be going to Camp Theta this year, but he does listen. So
I just hit you with a reference and you didn't get it.
I got it.
Oh, you did? Darn it.
Yes, I got it.
All right. I thought I got one over on you.
No, no.
Yeah. So the only other thing I had here was Tygon Pog delay.
Bro,
We actually going to get these this week, you think?
no chance. No chance.
You heard it here first, folks.
When
Not
there's
financial
confidence,
advice.
when there's confidence that they're like, okay, I know we've screwed this up a bunch of times, but like for real, like it's gonna happen. So
This
where's
time
your
I
money on?
swear, guys.
Where's
Oh,
the
man.
Swampy? What are Vegas odds that this goes down
Yeah, come on, Swamp.
on the new date? So it's been.
That would be a great NFT project that he should do, is Swampy Vegas odds. Make it happen, Swampy. Come on. We know you got time.
Got a lot of time.
plenty of you got time sitting there in the pickup line waiting for your kids hour a day. Unbelievable how they have to do things in Texas. All right, well, yeah, I mean, we had a fun time this weekend. Or yeah, not this
This
weekend,
weekend?
but well, I did have a fun time this weekend, but
We don't have time for it though.
no, not at all. Not this time because we had such a good time on Thursday night with our boy Rob Feldman.
Shout out.
I'm shocked that you guys didn't just turn it into I think you should leave marathon on me. I was told there was no references. I'm still not fully believing that
No way, man.
there was zero.
I think there was zero. Let's let the audience will be the truth detectors on that, right?
Well, I mean, I think that I have to rely upon you and Rob because you two are
I
the
don't
only ones that watch it.
I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't
There was just a few references that I didn't get. It could have been from something else. It's not like I get all of them. We all know that.
right.
So could have been anything. But yeah. But yeah, anyway, we got a chance to sit down with one of the busiest guys in Web3. I mean, this guy, I've said it before, he reminds me of like an octopus chef, like with 8 arms, just like in the kitchen, cooking up all these different things. He's got a drop coming out. Sounds really cool. And you will get to hear a lot more about that.
After these messages.
This week's episode of Poppin' Mags is proudly sponsored by Pog Digital, an interoperable universal gaming ecosystem officially created by the World Pog Federation. The game you collect has entered the digital era. Learn more at pogdigital.com.
Poppin's poppin' and locking. Magnum scrutinizing. Poppin' Max Pinecast.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate
we
it
are.
very much.
Of course,
Absolutely.
Rob.
You guys have the #1 show on the Theta Network.
The #1 Pinecast.
The
on the
#1
Theta.
podcast. It's now hundreds and hundreds. It's not tens and tens.
I don't know. I think a lot of the 10s and 10s took the summer off, or the hundreds and hundreds.
I know. I mean, I had to start over on Bolt TV, on Bolt Plus. Yeah, I had like 2,000 people on Theta TV, and then and then I had to start. And now I just broke 100 people. So we're like I'm a freshman again, you know. It just keeps happening. But I don't do this show for them. I do it for me. At least that's what I tell myself.
Do you tell them that?
No.
A lot of big news, right, Rob?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. This there's a lot of big news. I mean, there's quite a lot that's happening right
Like
now.
this? This
Oh
might be the
yeah,
biggest news.
oh yeah. Zotz.
What
I
is
know.
Yeah.
that?
Tell them, Rob.
So
Hard candy?
you're probably I don't know. I mean, I don't know how old you guys are, but I know I got you
Old
beat.
enough to party.
Old enough to party. It's, but I grew up with Zotz, and so for like I don't know how many years I've been trying to find like a partner to like sponsor the stream or like just partner up with like in the candy industry. And I live kind of close to Just Born. They do like Jelly Belly. I'm a huge
Oh yeah.
yeah. I'm a huge candy fan. Like I love all new candies and. I'm like a child, but so I've been trying to partner with Just Born. They ignored me. Frara Pan ignored me.
Jeez.
And finally, I dug deep and I was like, "What candy did you like as a kid? Like, did you like Now and Laters? Yeah. Did you like Zotz?" And I was like, "Ooh, yeah, Zotz. Oh my god!" So Zotz are hard candies that are actually made in Italy. So like right out of the gate, you got an Italian confection, right? But it's like it's not like overly hard candy like Charms or anything like that. And it's sort of like it's a little thinner. But on the inside, they got this like
It's
fizzy.
weird.
Yeah, they got this fizzy component to it. Like it starts to foam up in your mouth. And it's a really delicious sort of sensation. And as it foams, the candy sort of thins out. So it becomes like you just bite into it. So it's super gratifying. Like it's like, yeah, Zotz. So yeah. So what I did is I contacted them about this new drop that I have coming up on next Friday. And then I was like, I queried them and I was like, oh yeah, I got, John Heater's reprising his role as Psycho KO. And, I just found out and this just happened. Efren Ramirez is also doing a part in this thing. This sort of like Rob Feldman fever dream of choose your own adventure. And so I queried Zotz and they sent me an order form back. And I was like, I don't think you understand. So I pushed a little harder. And then all of a sudden, they said, okay, let's have a phone call. So we had a phone call. Dude, these people are so nice. It's the Prost company, and they're out of Connecticut. And they also make a taste of Thai and also Honeys, Honees. I think they're billing it as like cough drops now or something, even though we ate them as kids.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
okay. I think yeah.
It's got like honey in the middle, like real honey.
Yeah.
So anyway, but of course Zotz, and I was like, oh my God. So I don't know. They just sort of like partnered up and for this drop, and they're happy and I'm happy. And, we talk regularly and it's kind of a dream. I told my sisters, I have like 4 other brothers and sisters, and they like freaked out. They're like, oh my God. I brought them to a party because Zotz shipped me a whole bunch of them. And, everybody like was eating Zotz. It was like a Zotz fest. So anyway.
Well, me and Popper been working out. Popper, who we been trying to land? The candy cigarette company and the bubblegum cigar company.
Yeah,
The gateway candies.
that's right. Thank you. Right. Because then the next thing after that's like hardcore Skittles or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you got the beef jerky chew, the beef jerky skull.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Or the Big League Chew. Remember?
Oh
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Let's
That's
not
a
talk about
favorite.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I
mean,
remember it, sure.
I love all that stuff. Like I love like cereals. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, but this is the right Pinecast
Right
for
up
you
our
then.
alley.
yeah. Right.
Have you ever had French Toast Crunch?
Yes. Yes.
Now
I love
compare that to Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Let me think about it. Let me think. I don't know. I like the reigning champ of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. What do you think?
Okay. I like the French Toast Crunch just because it keeps its crunch.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that, and yeah, I lean French Toast Crunch.
What about
Popper-
waffle O's? Did you ever have those waffle O's?
That one I did not have.
The O's, like OH.
Yeah, it's called. I think they're called waffle O's. Like they taste like literally like fake maple syrup, like waffle. Oh my God, that's a killer cereal. But you got to let the milk, eat away at it a little bit, so it's a little softer. So you got to hit the right. It's like when you eat Captain Crunch. Like you dive right in, you're gonna rip your mouth up, right?
Yeah.
So you got to let the milk work at it.
So Popper, I went to another grocery store and I got the cinnamon kind of the Captain Crunch. Is that what we were talking about before?
Yes. Yep. Captain
So
Crunch,
my
Cinnamon
review,
Crunch.
it's like like if there was ever a solid cereal, that's a solid cereal.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
It's not like
Cinnamon Captain Crunch.
Cinnamon Captain Crunch is just like regular, but it's cinnamon, just like, I mean, I guess you could say regular life and cinnamon life, but who would want regular life when you could get cinnamon life?
It's true.
That's
It's
fact.
true. What
I
about
think
peanut
Rob
butter
doesn't
crunch?
like cinnamon life. What's that?
What about no cinnamon life? No light life. It's like when we start getting into like cereal that actually has nutritional value.
Oh,
I'm kind of out, except for grape nuts, which are phenomenal.
Rob gave up on all that other stuff when they discontinued Mr. T's and C3POs.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The theme cereal. Yeah, Mr. T. I pity the fool who doesn't. You can buy boxes of that on eBay. Like people never opened them before.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
bizarre.
Yep.
I would like to see it. That's a Pinecast right there. You know what I mean? Like you try a 30-year-old, 40-year-old Mr. T cereal box.
Well, it's a little scary because have you seen those? I've mentioned it before to Popper, but there is these the YouTube videos of people buying on eBay crystal clear Pepsi and they drink it and then it's like instant vomit. And probably diarrhea.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
what's one without the other?
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Why did they discontinue that, Popper? That was amazing.
I never had that, to be honest
Really?
with you. Never.
Clear
They didn't
No.
have.
Pepsi.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It was always weird. I never really dug it because you can't, it's like eating anything clear. The expectation of it is, as humans, you need the sight, you need the smell, you need all your senses need to be activated. I think that's why it didn't do well. It was like kind of a novelty, but I'm trying to think of something else that's similar.
I mean, how is it compared to looking at a glass of Sprite?
Well, Sprite, the expectation is, oh, this is lemony, fresh, almost seltzery. And then from my perspective, right? And
Okay.
then, and then you got Pepsi. It's like, no, I'm expecting dark sort of caramel.
Oh, okay.
I think
I hear you.
I think I was weirded out by it. It's like the McDLT. Remember they tried, that goes way back. The cool side stays cool. The warm side stays warm. There was only one dude in my high school who basically got beaten up every day that was into the McDLT. He was like, oh, they're so good. I'm like, no one likes McDLTs. No one. Stop eating them. You're going to get beaten up again. So poor guy. I didn't beat him up. Other people did. I was not in that position. I wasn't like that. So yeah. So Zotz is like, I'm super thrilled. They're in, hopefully they're in kind of like for the long haul, because even after this drop, I was like, I want to do so much work for you guys to like really elevate all of your socials and like all of your animation and stuff like that. So hopefully they bite. I mean, this is just all a ploy just to sort of work for Zotz. It's, I don't know. I don't think that's true at all, but no, it's like that'd be a nice incidental, to be honest. So
So what did you get? Did you get Zotz with like psycho packaging? Is that what it?
no, so yeah, so okay, so what they did is they said we'll give you all the prizes. We have no problem giving the prizes. I was like, okay, great. Well, what does that look like? So this drop is a little, I don't want to say it's a little complicated because I think that might put people off. It's the expectation is that people are going to want these cards and they're going to want to stick with the weekly challenges over the course of 8 weeks. And basically, I don't know how much you know about it or don't. So if you don't mind, I'll explain it.
Perfect.
Basically, we're going to be dropping Psycho KO Series 2 action cards, right? Like you got the Zotz. Yeah, Mags, I think you're supposed to take the packaging off the Zotz before you eat them.
That was the foam.
That was the foam.
That was the foam.
I honestly thought you had the package in your mouth.
No,
I was like,
really foams up.
I was like, is he waiting for me to notice that he's choking to death, or it's the foam. That's funny. So yeah, so we dropped the Series 2 action cards. There are 2 packs. The first pack is going to give you all 16 cards for all 8 weeks. So there's 2 cards a week. The second pack is going to have 16 cards, plus 8 rarities. So you're getting 24 cards in that pack. There's quite a lot of cards in this drop, right? In the second pack, you're getting 16 cards. And those are random, and they're going to be randomized. So you may get some game cards, you may not. Okay. So those are the packs. We're going to drop videos every week. The videos you'll be able to open them with your cards. But before you do so, you have to make a choice of which one to burn. So you're really sort of like laying down and taking a risk to say, okay, it's this card. This is my gut. That this is what I'm sticking with. And then in a challenge, you're going to be dropped another card that will help you unlock the video. So just to recap, you're going to have 2 cards for that week, which the video itself will give you clues as to which card. So there's like a 3-day period. Then the challenge drops. You take your 2 cards, you burn one of them, and then you drop a Zotz Power Blip card that will serve as your unlock card for that week. You go over to the Pinball Peril site at Psycho KO, right? And it will determine which video gets opened. There's a good video, just like the Wizard of Oz. There's the good witch and there's the bad witch. There's the good video that's going to give you 2 more clues, which means you've moved on. Then there's the bad video, which says, whomp, whomp, you burned the wrong one. And now guess what? You have to live with it or go find the correct card on the secondary marketplace. So the idea is that people are going to be looking actively for these cards if they don't already hold them or if they burned the wrong one, right? So yes, maybe it is a little complicated, but the reason why it's devised this way is because I really didn't want anybody to sort of like brute force the game by just buying up all of them and then being able to unlock for that week. Now, so if you make it through all 8 weeks by some grace of whatever, you will get the grand prize. And the grand prize is for the rest of the year, starting in August, every month. Excuse me, I'm drinking a fake beer. Every month, you'll be sent physically a Zotz mystery power box, which will include tons of Zotz, as many Zotz as you can handle, along with various swag. Now, you might be the king of Zotz or queen of Zotz right in your neighborhood. So you could
Emperor.
you could resell them, you could give them away, blah, blah, blah. Additionally, we are going to have challenges for people that are playing along the way to give away 50 bags of Zotz over the course of that 8 weeks, right? Further, in the grand prize, let me go back to the grand prize. You're going to get the Zotz. Plus, I'm going to give you 10,000 CYK token, plus 500 T-Fuel, plus a custom NFT, right? So that's the grand prize. But
That's what
during
kids call plus.
and then but we're also giving away these redeemable bags. So there are a couple things. One is from my point of view, the utility itself is going to keep people engaged along with the collectability. The fact that the animated videos themselves will star John Heater in this limited animation audio comic, right? So knowing that it's not full animation, just putting that out there, it's slightly animated, mostly an audio comic that brings the panel to life, right? And then the sort of fail videos are going to be voiced by Efren Ramirez, who does the sort of voice of Baron Diablo. So there are these like fail videos that will happen. So you're getting that as well. But mainly the other main component to this that I think is good. I mean, let's say somebody doesn't want to play the game and they hold all 16 cards and they happen to know for that week which card is the one. I mean, you might have people that are like, okay, well, I'm going to buy that card. I kind of want to buy my way in. That's a really expensive way to win this game. Probably something I don't really suggest, but yeah. Now, if there are multiple winners for the grand prize, we have there's only one grand prize, right? So we have to figure out who that will be. We're going to have, and I'm going to say this now, a pinball tournament that
Yes.
streams live using, we're going to drop these people a special NFT that will unlock a pinball game that we will stream live, and the highest scorer will get the prize. And you know what? Just for like argument's sake, if Zotz is like, I'll talk to Zotz and say like, can we give out more grand prizes if that's the case? I want everybody to win in this thing, but I also want it to be challenging. And I also want the utility to work, right? Which it will, because we have Austin coding this thing. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think it'll be good. Part of the trick though is setting the price right, especially in this market even though it's a bull market, it
They
sure
forgot
doesn't
NFT.
feel that way.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
It might be a bull market ish, but I don't know if that applies to the NFTs.
Yeah, right. I know. So it's kind of risky having it now, but by the same token, I feel like this might be a good way to sort of like pass the time, if you will. It's a product.
Is it true you're donating money to Zotz Tots to send kids to college?
Yeah. That episode of The Office was painful. Was that terrible?
It was.
Tots. Like, nobody saw that. I remember I can't even watch that episode. Popper, do you watch The Office? Do you watch that?
I have seen The Office up to the point where Michael Scott leaves. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a
Then-
while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So Scott's Zotz Tots.
Zotz. Ugh.
Yeah, I know. So I I totally understand the risks with like this FT thing. I mean, the good piece to this all is there's a lot of support behind it. Particularly with Bolt Plus and the Theta team, of course, but with Bolt Plus, which I stream on, I'm pretty heavy. They were initially going to be a part of this drop, but just logistically, the timing really didn't work out for them. So we're planning something else in the future, but their team's extraordinarily supportive. So I think they're going to be actively promoting it to their users, which is good. So hopefully we bring in some new audience as well to the Theta community. But here's the thing with them that I don't know if you know. Do you know ThorChain? Do you know Thor Wallet? The Thor Wallet, the ThorChain?
I do not. I'm not familiar.
All right, so there's a guy on Twitter that you should follow. His name is JP Thor. It almost sounds made up because I was like, is that his real name? And it is. But he started ThorChain. He's an investor. He's backing Bolt as well. He's involved with Bolt Plus. They're already on Vidya TVs that are shipped their partners are Bloomberg. They just have Kids Bop, Smurf TV. They're really growing in terms of what Theta TV kind of could have been if they like continued or whatever. So it's sort of pretty neat to see them grow. And they're a little different than what Replay does or Rewarded TV in that they actually have streamers on there along with the other content that they show. So it's kind of I guess it's kind of closest to Theta TV, that model.
And it looks like that's at JP Thor 89.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you see Rob following him, that's the guy.
He's a nice guy. He's very, I am going to say this. He's very, ambitious. He's very intense. I'm going to say intense. I think, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it like, it's like for me, I'm like, whoa, man, this guy doesn't sleep. I don't know how that's even possible, the number of hours he puts in. But yeah, that whole team, like from, I talked actively with their head of development, Harry, and I know that they're going to be doing things. I've tried over and over to get them to come over to Theta Network, but they have their own chain. And I think it's a little bit, I don't want to say they're competitors. I just think it's just different, right? I think there are quite a few of these things, these Web3 streaming platforms, and only a couple will kind of, emerge victorious. I really believe Bolt's one of them. That's not financial advice. I'm just saying.
Well, it sure seems like Theta TV is not one of them.
Theta TV is not.
Too soon.
That was a shame. I mean, I am going to say I was pretty disappointed about that. I think if a lot of people were, because I felt like that was a way to be Theta centric, which I can't be now on Bolt. I can't talk about Theta like, oh yeah, this is, let's talk about Theta news. Like kind of what you guys, right? With the Pinecast, it's very Theta centric and Pineapple centric. So like, if you're, I'm SPS, but like if you went elsewhere or whatever, you know what I mean? The challenge of like, hey, let's pick new topics is a little not difficult, but you just have to reframe it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it was a great community place to hang out, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You had a bunch of like you, HGH for sure, Genion.
Yeah.
You guys are on there. Plenty of others too, TZC.
Yep.
Lots of great. I mean, Space Brew. There was a ton.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a shame because you could just pop on there, see who's hanging out, and it was like a cool interactive community hangout. But
yeah.
But yeah, this drop definitely seems a lot different than drops that we've seen in the past. And I do like the interactive nature of it where you're kind of given all of the key, like, you're given all these different keys and it's like, oh, which one are you going to use to try to open up the next lock, right? And
Yeah.
move on to the next one.
Yeah, and I mean, from a linear, it's not a linear storyline. So the premise is, Psycho KO gets sent a random pinball. I put up a video that kind of explains it, in an animated form. It's narrated by Dippy the Dolphin and Governor Kreskin, as well as, you have Psycho KO who's trapped in the machine. But basically, he sent this pinball machine, and it's sent by the nefarious Baron Diablo, and he's shrunken down and gets trapped inside, and he's forced to like sort of confront all the scenes of his past from the various comics. So I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Stay Tuned
Oh,
with Pam Dauber and John Ritter. I sort of
yep.
talked about this early on, and they get bounced around from channel to channel. So there's real no linear storyline, and a lot of it there is really quite random, much in the same way as you would bet on. And I can't use the word bet, but much in the same way that you would bet on, like, which is it going to be black or red, right? So that sort of thing. But it's a ton of fun because the videos themselves, have Dippy the Dolphin. Now, here's what's cool about this. I'm friends with the guy who voices Dippy the Dolphin. I'm friends with all of them, but this guy, Kevin Nealis, plays Dippy the Dolphin from the animated pilot. And he's one of my really good friends. And I said to him, Kevin, you don't have to set foot in a studio. I'm going to use your sample voice, and I'm going to act through your voice using 11 Labs speech synthesis. And no one's going to know that it's not you, right? And so basically that's what I did. I've been doing these like podcasts, radio dramas, where I play every single part, male, female, old, young, etc. I did about 9 episodes for this one guy who's also a friend of mine. And like I do the sound effects, the whole thing. So I sampled his voice, and I act through it, and I played it back for him. And he's like, "Whoa, dude, that is scary how dead on it is." I'm doing the same for Governor Kreskin's voice, played by Justin Winters. Both of those have agreements in place, right? And they're being paid. So anybody that's like, "Oh, it's AI, that's fine." Keep in mind that these guys, first of all, don't have to set foot in the studio. And secondly, they're getting paid for, I don't want to say doing nothing, but yeah, kind of, you know what I mean? So there's that. John Heater and Ephraim Ramirez are voiceovers that they sent to me. I don't know how they feel about AI. It's not my position to comment on it, but I know that they were more comfortable and felt better doing it that way, which is totally fine. So I'll be using those will be their true, not speech synthesis voices. So you'll see these little videos, and it's Dippy communicating with Psycho, and he's like, "Hey, I'm outside, I'm going to help you through this spectral map. The map says there are 2 clues." Now, the reason why, and so then there are 2 clues. One might be audio, one might be Morse code, one might be a cryptogram, one might be something. So it's a good way to sort of pass the time if you like puzzles. I'm a huge fan of puzzles. I do the Wordle every day. I know every Gen Xer on earth does the Wordle. But these sort of short form puzzles are tons of fun. So that's what the video will end. And then from there, you can guess which cards you need. And then ultimately, when the challenge hits, it'll reveal those 2 cards. But ahead of time, if you were unlucky or you didn't like buy the other pack, certainly you can sort of use your wits to guess which cards they are. And the puzzles aren't that hard, so you'll know. And that was kind of inspired by what I used to do before challenges came in to Theta Drop. I would do an airdrop, schedule the airdrop, and then I'd give clues to people on Theta TV and then in Discord, and people really enjoyed that. So I think we're getting the best of both worlds here with this drop.
Yeah, definitely. I remember chasing those airdrops back in the day. They were a lot of fun because you give them out, and then it's like, oh, is it this way? We got like a little side group trying to figure out, which one is it? And
exactly.
Then all of a sudden you see the sales start pouring into Theta Drop. Oh, it's that one.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember that being so much fun, And then challenges came, and I was like, okay, well, Theta kind of wants me to use that. It's easier for them than doing airdrops, but I really do enjoy the old school airdrops, and this combines both of it. Where, the idea is to like bring this community. We're pretty tight, right? But really to sort of like bring in new people as well and have them guessing and sort of. I think that's the best way to get people into the community is like by their interaction, because I think when they see like how tight knit everybody is and you know um how nice everybody is. I mean, never a bad word to say, about anybody at like ThetaCon or anybody online. I mean, I see stuff that goes down. I'm not blind. I'm not blind, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you gotta, I see both sides of everything. So, and those that don't see, those that don't feel the same way, I just sort of like don't respond. You'll see I don't participate in a lot of that stuff because I'm far too old to be dealing with that
Indeed.
garbage. Yeah.
And we will be right back.
This week's episode is brought to you by Dr. Theta's Community Guardian Node. Theta's premier community guardian node where you can stake your Theta if you don't run your own guardian node. Best of all, 100% uptime so you do not miss any rewards and 0 fees so you earn 100% of your T-Fuel. Trusted by Theta Labs, you can easily stake directly within your wallet. Simply go to the staking tab, choose Delegated Guardian Node, and find Dr. Theta's Guardian Node. Quick, simple, reliable, and best of all, safe, as the coins never leave your wallet. Stake with the Doc today. This week's episode is brought to you by GuardiansOfTheta.com, offering 0% one-click Theta Guardian staking with random monthly token giveaways. Guardians also airdropped everyone staking with him an NFT that you're able to stake and earn T-Vibe. 100% uptime, 0 fees, random giveaways, what's not to love? Stop paying 4% and come join the fam with Guardians of Theta.
Papa Max, yeah. Papa Max. Papa Max Podcast. Papa Max Podcast.
So I know this is called Psycho KO Pinball Peril. Or did I say that right? How was it said before? Psycho Co? No.
No, you're correct.
No, I know.
But, oh, I get it. Yeah.
So it's the Pinball Peril. So it sounds like the meat and potatoes of this adventure does not really involve the playing of pinball.
Correct. Yeah.
But there is also a pinball game on top of it.
Yeah, and that was kind of like Austin Patkos, the jacked dev, or spaces in between it. He's got to change that. But whatever. It's kind of hard to say. So he's been my friend for years. He actually used to be a sensei at our dojo. You've seen Austin. He's like, his arms are like bowling balls, like 3 bowling balls together. But he's also this brilliant coder who, a few years ago was like, hey, can you code blockchain? He's like, nah, but I'll figure it out. And sort of, so we've launched all these games like Beat Blordo, the TV Star Cards game, Memot Mania. And we were the first, I believe, the first game on the Theta network that actually used NFTs within the game and as power-ups for Beat Blordo. And, that was kind of, I like to think it was kind of groundbreaking at the time. And so, anyway, so he's building this drop where it will automatically open up and present you with whatever video you have, with whatever card you have. But in addition to that, he's like, you know what, dude, why don't I build a pinball machine? I was like, yeah, that's great. But like, we don't need a leaderboard and all that other stuff. Like, let's just make it let's make it a bonus, right? So for those people who like can make it to the end, and there are some variables with this, right? Like, let's say nobody makes it to the end. Let's say nobody makes it to, I don't know, week 5, week 6, whatever. We're gonna have to pivot and sort of figure out something else, right? So, but yeah, the pinball game's like a really cool idea add-on, that would happen. So I think it'd be cool. With any, in the future, we want to be able to have, people rewarded with the CYK token, and then be able to spend that CYK token on various incentives and digital goods and physical goods, right? Which is, setting up our own ecosystem, which is in the white paper, and which is also in this pitch deck that I have. And I don't know, you guys know John Prout, right? Theta Leviathan.
Okay.
Did I just out him? I probably did. Now I asked
We
him
can
before.
edit that out, but
No, he's fine. I asked him before. I was like, do you want me to out you? He's like, that's fine.
He
So
thinks you're proud.
he's so he staked the validator node in Earworms, my company's name, to become a Theta partner, and he's on the team, and he was, dear God, super, super helpful in concocting this drop and being a part of it. It's pretty remarkable. So I have him to thank for a lot of these sort of panic moments that I had, like, oh my God, how's this going to work? And that's all I've been thinking about. I'm like, it was pretty complicated to, like, it doesn't sound complicated, but I'm not that bright. So there's that.
well, you have like 8 levels, and each level is just another chance to mess something up. And
Yeah.
like you said, the things can sound easy, and I've come to learn that just because it sounds easy, there's like so much that has to go on behind the scenes to make it actually happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, this seems like an 8-layer cake. It sounds pretty. So it's going to be over the course of how long?
8 weeks. So
one per week.
yeah, one per week. Right. So there will be, like, so the first drop happens on the 21st, and the first video will be immediately available. There's like an opener card that everyone gets. And for people that hold, the Psycho KO Action Card Series 1, I don't know if it's all the cards, or at least, maybe we'll require like 6 of them or something. You'll get the opener card as well. You'll go over to the site. Everybody opens up the same video. And in that video will be the 2 clues for the following week. Then there will be a period of like 3 days. I forget the actual timeline. 3 days where you have to secure those 2 cards. Now, for those people that bought the bigger pack, it's the higher pack, it's already in your deck. You already have those 2 cards. So when the challenge hits, you'll see the 2 cards there that you'll need, and then you'll burn one of them. And in return, you'll get the Zotz Power Blip, which is like the key, your key. So those 2 cards in tandem, your choice card and your blip card, will be used to automatically open up the video on the Psycho KO website and present you with your choice. So you're going to immediately know and probably share with the community, yeah, it's not this card, it's the other one. To which everybody's going to be like, oh God, I burned the wrong one, or thank God. Like we're thanking God like it's the biggest, like it's a tsunami or something, right? But it's like, I got the correct one.
Popper's going to tell people the wrong card.
Right, which you could. I mean, honestly, right? I mean, so, but now here's the thing though. If you hold both cards and you're like, so I'll just hold both cards. And I got you're not going to get the Zotz Power Blip, but if you have the Zotz Power Blip and then you go and acquire the other card from the secondary marketplace, good luck opening the video, because it's not going to be open. You're going to be presented with a third video that will say, sorry, Charlie, basically, right? And then you're like, oh shoot, now I got 2 cards and I'm too late. I can't burn the other one. I got to ditch it. So you might like move it to another wallet. You might have to sell it. You might have to transfer, whatever. And then by then you're going to know the answer anyway, right? So, so in that case, would you be able to win the game? I guess I just gave you the answer. Maybe. But that's 1 week, right? Are you going to do that for every week? You're going to go buy the other card? Like, you're spending way more money than you should, I mean, I guess people can team up. I don't know. How many winners will there be? Will they try to, like, beat Rob Feldman, take Rob Feldman's T-Fuel or something. I don't know. We'll find out. This is, I should also note, this is highly experimental, right? Because, I mean, I haven't, the only time I saw any inkling of this was on Curio, like a couple of years ago. Curio NFT. My buddy Sam Ellis used to work for them. And they signed Dick Wolf from Law and Order.
Dun, dun.
And dun dun. In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups. Anyway, I know the rest of it. I won't bore you. But Dick Wolf had this like a huge Law and Order fan. So he had this Web3 mystery game. And I was like, whoa, that's a great idea. It's that's kind of where this all came from. But I haven't really seen anything done like this yet. I might be wrong. There's a good chance I'm wrong.
So, but you were saying if you fail on round 1, you're done, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, if you burn the wrong card, then you're like, okay, well, I'm stuck with the wrong card. So how do I get the right card? And people by then are going to know the right card and they're going to jack up the price on the marketplace, right? Or you might, right? I mean, that's kind of how it works. So then you have to make a choice like, all right, well, I guess I'm kind of out, right? So, but you know, there might be attempts, you know, depending how it goes. Again, you know, we might be like the teacher who like curves on a bell curve. If we're seeing that, like, I'm going to carefully have my eye on this thing, right? So like, if I'm seeing that people are like not, you know, they're dropping out, there's like learned helplessness and stuff, you know, there's a good chance we'll pivot to sort of ease up a little bit and make it a little easier. But I'm pretty confident that people will find a way around it, you know, one way or another. They did with Beep Lordo. You know, with Beep Lordo, we had like, they had the Golden Heads NFT that powered up, that I think, what did it do? It made them faster or something like that. Or you could, you could freeze the game more. So you can freeze it.
Oh, was that the Zapper? One was the Zapper and one was the Golden Head.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, right. There's the Mad Skills and then there's the Golden Heads. And the Golden Heads, I forget what it did. It gave you like ultimate power or something like that. It did something. I have to go back. It's been a while since I visited that game, which we put new music in and we put a new background in. And I think it's one of my favorite games because even I'm terrible at it. I'm really terrible at it, but it's just Pong. But I like the fact that it's fast. You know, my son's been playing this Brawl Stars. I don't know if your kids have been playing it, Popper, at all, but like Brawl Stars is like, it's fast. It's this like fast game. It's like the makers of Clash Royale and what is it? Is that right? Clash of Clans, Battle Royale. I forget. I'm not a gamer, obviously, but yeah. But these quick games are sort of pretty cool. So,
Rob, I thought you were going to talk about your kids' announce.
what was that?
I thought you said you weren't going to talk about your kids' announce tonight.
No. I said I wasn't going to talk about our favorite show.
Oh,
Yeah, right. Because
Pretty sure there were some drops in there.
No,
earlier.
not,
no.
Not
not
one.
at all.
No.
I swear to God. I said, you know what? I said, I was texting Mags. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be honest. I think I make Popper mad when we talk about that show. I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it.
So I came into this fully expecting to be listening to you guys just laughing.
No, not at all. Not at all. I swear to God.
So there is a little bit of an elephant in the room right now,
Okay.
maybe more than one.
There's a lot of elephants in the room.
But there was news that came out today that a drop that was supposed to happen today has now moved to next week, or this coming week as you're listening on Tuesday, a day right before yours. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know it's supposed to happen today. I sort of planned my drop around that, and it's a little sensitive because we're sort of like, it's almost like, you know, the same drop, right? I mean, in not the same drop in a way, but
Related though.
Yeah, it involves the same people. Like, so yeah, so it's supposed to be the Pogs Tygon drop. And they've been planning it for months. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And then so I'm working with what John and his brother, John Heater and his brother Dan on like the comic and the animated series, and Justin from Verified. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm super excited about this thing. And then I was like, okay, well, your drop's on the 13th. I thought it was supposed to be much earlier, but I think things were sort of like pushed back. And so I was like, all right, well, the 13th's fine because it might drops the next week. And then we could have John Heater still promote the drop and blah, blah, blah. And then I found out today that the drop was pushed. And I'm like, all right, well, that sort of like has a little bit of an impact. I mean, I have no doubt that Pogs will sell out pretty instantly, I think. I mean, it doesn't impact them. I don't really think. So that's why I'm trying to build up this drop as much as possible. You know, we have a press release going out to various outlets. I'm trying to like really sort of like rally to get support because I know that, people don't have limitless funds, right? So they sort of have to pick and choose how they're going to spend their money, right? Um, so yeah, so it was a little, I mean, for me, there was probably about an hour of time that I spent thinking to myself, self, what are you going to do? And then, but finally I decided, you know what? Well, I already involved Zotz as a partner. We already scheduled everything. Then I also scheduled this is an intense involved drop. I already scheduled the 8 weeks, the challenges, there's so much into this that there was really literally no way that I could reschedule. So I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll just take my hits with it and sort of see how it shakes out. But yeah, I mean, ideally it would have been nice if there was notice or something that I mean, not that they have to give me notice. They don't have to tell me anything, but I think it was sort of pretty sudden. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? So,
I heard Kreskin's getting some lines cut.
no, yeah. Kreskin doesn't say any lines. I do all of his lines.
Oh,
So, well, I might even say in there, like, what the hell's up with the Pogs drop? Why, like, I might do that. But yeah, they're gonna. I mean, it's John Heater, it's Tygons, it's Pogs. It'll do well. Of course, it'll do well. I'm just worried about, selfishly, I'm worried about this drop. So I mean, which I worked really, really, really hard. I mean, this isn't a pity party, but at the same time, it's like I busted my $dollar sign on it. And it's like, all right, well, to not have it. I mean, I know the expectation is always for it to sell out, right? And so I don't know. I think I have to like maybe I don't want to say lower my expectations, but sort of like lower my expectations maybe.
Well, here's the thing, Rob. There's a lot of things we can say about Theta Drop, but I'm not sure that any announced drop that had an announced date of drop was ever pushed. And if it was very few. So I'm pretty confident that your drop is going to happen when you say it's going to happen. However, is the Pog drop really going to happen on the 20th? I mean, let's be honest. It was supposed to happen in March, February, right? And now it's going to be the 13th, and now we're putting a week. I mean, at this point, it's like, why even bother telling us? Why even bother just like when it's ready, just tell us it's out. At some point when you keep on saying stuff and it doesn't come true, your words become meaningless. And unfortunately, it feels like a lot of Web3 is right there. You know what I mean? Just not much accountability, and it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, I don't know. I mean, I can't, I don't know, and I can't really like comment on that. I hear what you're saying. I mean, I feel that that there are a lot of moving parts with Pogs, particularly since there's a marketplace, there's an arcade, there's quite a bit, I think. So, and I know that there's possibly some unplanned contingencies that happen. So I don't know. I can't really speak for that. And I just only know that from my perspective, it was a little bit of a bombshell, but they don't owe me anything to have to tell me anything, So this is my job. This is why I tend to do stuff now that is entirely within my control, because it's the only thing. I mean, I've been in a position before where you're working with different entities that have a lot of moving parts, and you don't really know what goes on, and so things may not ever happen the way you planned them to or whatever. So, with this drop, I know with mine, everything is like buttoned up because for me, my reputation and all this other stuff that comes along with it, my relationship with the community, how I act, how I respond, my timeliness and things like that. Not only are they important to me, they're absolutely important to the community. And when you look at that, the other word for community is sort of like customer, client, whatever, they're the ones who are supporters, fans, whatever, who are buying into you. They're buying into your product, yes, but they're also buying into you. So I feel that that's particularly important for me, and so that's why I like to be able to control all that stuff. I'm not a control freak, but I just know I've been there before, and it doesn't really shake out.
Well, I mean, to
So
your point though, like things happen, we know that, but just when you put a date out there, now you're putting yourself out there that you're expecting these things not to happen. And, I just don't put a date is my point. Like if until it's buttoned up and ready, like you have it, then there's no like what's the hurry?
yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I've that's why I try to do all this. Like I preload everything, and I don't really say anything until it's a done deal, Um, only because I mean, again, I can't for me, I can't risk that. Um, I felt in a way that the meepheads, which there's always this attempt. The one drop that I kind of regret was the meepheads on Open Theta, um, because I feel like I had really good intentions there, with having these sort of like pog like this. I don't know if you recall this or not, but they were pogs, and we had this whole game set and everything. And then pogs came on the platform, and they were sort of like front and center, as and I think it was great. It was fantastic. It is, but that project for me sort of like went by the wayside, and I know people who bought into it. So I'm still that sticks with me, and it's something that I intend to do and make good, particularly when we get this portal up and running. Yeah, I really admire like HGH. I really think, and Theta Zilla Club. Those guys really are like, they hustle. They're like, they really care about the community. I feel like they really deliver on stuff. I was particularly impressed with like HGH's website and his ability to like be able to use his token to like buy certain things. And that was very inspirational to me to see that someone else had the same sort of vision as I do. Currently, I have a whole pitch deck that I put together of all the properties with the help of John Prout, which is phenomenal. And I've actually pitched it to quite a few, not quite a few, but a few investors who are, technology investors. And I've gotten tremendous feedback of like really good. Yeah, this is a great idea. This is what you should do. It's just a matter of finding the funding that is outside of my reach currently, to be able to fund it. And it's a creator-centric portal that is an ecosystem that utilizes tokenomics as the mechanism to consume content. Which basically, if somebody is a creator, they do comics, they do animation, they do some sort of almost like a Patreon, right? They'd be able to go on, the person would sign on, connect their wallet. They'd have their wallet full of that specific token, and they'd be able to spend that token on new digital drops, on new content, and then be rewarded for the same thing. If you think about like what Rewarded does, it would be kind of the same thing, but from a comics animation perspective. And it could be templatized also, which is like, that's kind of cool because any creator can jump in and be able to like set up their own page and start with their own tokenization. So you can imagine the amount of development work that's like symbiote's level of development. You know what I mean? Like, which currently is out of my grasp, but
Out of most people's grasp for sure. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, you know, and the one other cool thing about HGH is it's not even a crypto coin. It's just like this synthetic token that you're earning that you can just spend on the website and just, buying NFTs. And, he gets the interaction. And, I'm definitely a big fan of HGH, and I like what he's doing there. And I know that he's one of those guys like you that is just continuing to work. So you guys both have good communities behind you for sure, because you've built them, and been responsive. And yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I looked at that. I was like, oh man, there's always this balance of like when you look at something, I'm always happy for people first because I love when I see other people doing stuff, And then there's this other piece to it that you're like, damn, how do I get there? And so that's the inspiration part of like, okay, that's he's doing what I want to do. How can I do that too? And so, and he's pretty, I've talked to him, and he's always very open and very sort of like, upfront, which is great, so he's a cool dude. I hope to see him at ThetaCon.
Rob, was there an update on the graphic novel?
Yeah, there is. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's actually at the printer. It should be done soon. Oh my God. I remember I promised this damn thing back in like November. Oh, it'll be there in November. But the thing with, so this is one of those things that's out of my control, right? And this was my moment, right? Where I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's coming. This is the date, without fully realizing all the logistics that went into it, which is the book need to be laid out. The book need to be relettered. The book there are all these like things. It's a 146 page book, right? So, and it's available in both hardcover and paperback. Part of it is that they ran a separate Rocket Ship ran a separate Kickstarter for it, but it's finally at the printer and it'll be done. There is one little sort of like kink in the armor. Is that the phrase? I don't know. But the cover is going to be the same as the normal book. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have specific book plates or stickers that will have NFC tape on them that will link directly to an NFT that is dropped to your wallet to establish ownership. So the physical will be tied to the digital. So we're getting all the redeemables. We're securing their wallets, and then I'm going to be coding them so that way we could drop the NFT, and then I will link the NFT myself using the NFC chip or tape rather. So that's kind of like the make good for the alternate cover, which wasn't possible because we couldn't hit the minimum print quantity for that. So yeah, so that's the update, and I apologize about that. It's like that's one of those things that like I don't know if I would do again, but I'm happy I did it. I'm happy people get a copy. But if you're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, I am going to have a stash there, and stop by the Rocket Ship booth and I'll sign it for you. If you want me to sign it, like, what would he do?
So when is that?
That is July 24th. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. I think we're going out on the 24th through the 28th. And I'm going out this year with my son and my wife. My other son's staying home. But yeah, we're going to visit my nephew who's in the Navy. Well, they're going to. I'm going to be working the convention all day and all night. And yeah, it's kind of where I'm going to be. And at night, I'll hopefully try to stay up. Last year we went out. Excuse me. We went out like it's like 3 a.m, and that's like 6 a.m here. And I was absolutely dead. I was dead. Forget it.
So out of curiosity, do we have it sounded from the drop that there's two different levels of the drop. Is it two different levels and do we have prices for these levels?
Yeah, there are two different packs. So the first one has 24 cards in them, which include the 16 game cards. And then the second pack is 16 cards. They're randomized with some game cards maybe, and the various rarities for the other ones. Prices that we're sort of like, we had a price in mind, and I was thinking, well, it's a little high. So I'll know more. I just went back to Kyle and I was like, I think the prices are too high. So we're gonna have to see what they are. Because again, we're in a bull market. It doesn't feel like that. We want to make sure people buy them, and that it's affordable. Yeah, if you look at most of these drops now, right? They're like $30, $40, right? Maybe. They're nowhere near where they used to be. I think the higher tier is has a little more value to it because again, you can sort of like resell those cards, potentially make your money back if you wanted to. I don't know. So, so the short answer is I don't have the prices yet, but those will be revealed shortly. I think
TBD.
yeah, I think we're going to start pre-sales pretty early, so just to get ahead of the curve.
I mean, I think you're on the right track because a lot of these ones that are having cheaper sale prices, you get more out there and you also get more secondary action on it.
Right.
So, it's more of a long game on those.
Exactly. I agree. I mean, in the past, we were selling stuff for like $90, right? Like what? And even
Right.
higher, right? I mean, and that's just not reasonable now in this market. And and just the sort of nature of NFTs as sort of, we're going to be buying NFT movies and NFT music, and certainly those are not going to be priced anywhere near, where NFTs used to be, right? So as digital rights, as DRM, right, we need to like figure out, well, we have to productize these. Like, how do you productize it? And that, with any product, determining the price is kind of key. At the same time, it's got to match the value of what you're getting. These aren't pretty collectibles that, of course they're pretty, but like in the end, what are you potentially going to get out of them? And from even a resale value, but from the long game, as well as, the various prizes that come with it. That's why I always like redeemables. I feel like redeemables are, you're getting something out of that. So that's kind of, I
Yeah.
approach it from a consumer standpoint.
And Popper, Rob does the stuff that I don't think anyone else really has done with, I mean, I could be wrong, but Rob does it a lot where he'll do challenges to burn the expired redeemables, which is something.
Yes.
Yeah. I just did that. And then I dropped, and what I did is with those redeemables, I gave them CYK token, which it's funny, you see all these meme coins happening right now, right? And I was like, oh, this is like kind of the age of the the coins, the meme coins that are coming out. And I was like, this is kind of timely. So, and people really want those CYK tokens, which is amazing to me. Like I look on the market, I look on the on Theta Swap.
Data swap?
Yeah, and I'm like, it's valued at 0.006. I was like, what the hell? No way. And so that's without me, like, I put in some liquidity, but just organically. See, that's why I feel like it's got to match the value. The liquidity has to match the value. And when the liquidity is off, I'm not a liquidity expert like at all.
I
But when
thought you
it's
were.
off, no, but when it's off, it's like the price is too high, and it means you have to add more. And so for a while there, the CYK token was like really high, and I'm like, well, you can't have that because that's not true. So it's got to make sense.
Other thing cool, Popper, about the CYK token is Americans and international people enjoy the CYK token.
Hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah. I know where you're going. I'm not saying anything, but but yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's kind of cool. It's pretty wild to like see, because ultimately all those CYK tokens will be distributed. There's 10 million of them, but they'll be distributed and will live like within this like build its own ecosystem. That's the idea of all these things, right? Like you want it to be able to like live and grow and be spread out. You can't hold on to these things forever. Otherwise, and I mean, just as an incentive from an advertising or marketing perspective, it really makes sense to have a token out there, because then when an advertiser comes along or, and can, like Zotz, right? I mean, when you think about this also, like I was like part of the portal idea is to have sponsors, and the sponsor will then drop coupons into your wallets, and those coupons would be used for redeemables and incentives and money off things or discounts, right? So if you don't want it, you can sell it on the secondary marketplace. Well, if from a Web 2 perspective, when you see someone's image all on your screen and it's taking up screen real estate, that has value to the advertiser, where their logo is all over, right? I mean, so remember banner ads, right? Remember those things, right? I mean, it wasn't that long ago that people had banner ads. They still do, but nobody was clicking on them. So from a visibility standpoint, from a sponsor perspective, like you're getting double duty. You're not only giving them a coupon as incentive to go over to their site, you're also giving that visibility of their logo all over the place. So with Zotz, I think this is a first. I mean, aside from G Fuel, right, which sponsored like Theta TV streamers and things like that. So, I'm looking forward to seeing those Zotz Power Blip cards all over the place, as well as the redeemables, because I think it's kind of neat to be able to tie real world utility into this whole thing. Random thoughts. Random.
So yeah, I've never had these Zotz. I'm kind of curious. I do like obviously hard candy. I'm not sure how I'm gonna like these. I've had some of those hard candies that have like that. I'm trying to think of what they are, but they have like the liquid in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. No, yeah, this is not like
I
that
hate
at all.
those.
So what's good about Zotz is what's amazing is that they're made, like I mentioned this, they're made in Italy. So right out of the gate, it's like an Italian confection. It's already 100% better in my mind, which I didn't know. But the hard candy itself is not like this generic corn syrup flavor. Like they have actually good flavors that taste good. And then the fizz comes up after it, right? Right, Max, you just had
I
one,
can
right?
confirm.
What'd you? Yeah,
I had two.
I'm eating
I
one right now.
got a
My mouth
mix
is-
pack. Strawberry and blue raspberry are the best of the mix pack, I gotta say.
Yeah, see, I have a cherry right now, and I have to tell you, like, I'm thinking about a Charms
Blow pop?
lollipop or something. Tastes nothing like it. It's clearly a very cherry flavor. See, now I'm getting a fizz. My mouth is watering. I brought these over to my sister's house. I think I told you. Man, everybody was like, they went nuts. They dove on them. Everyone had one and was like talking. I was like, this is surreal. I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is not real right now. It's crazy. I'll have to get you some, Popper. I'll send you some.
Sounds good.
I know I promised Andrea some too, but I'm getting
She got some.
she got some, and I was like, I'm running out of Zotz, which I am, right? So I'm gonna ask for another shipment. When I get that, I'll send them off to you, unless you beat me to the punch.
I got him in 2 days, Popper, on Amazon.
I like how Rob's playing to the 10s and 10s in our European international crowd.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
I know, because it's from Italy. It's so much better.
It's so much better.
Which is probably actually factually true.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Italy? Have you ever gone?
I've never been to Italy. No.
Mags, have you?
I have.
Where?
I was in Vincenza. I had a 2-week military training
Mhm.
out there, and it was okay.
Yeah. So I think collectively I was there for like a whole month. I was there like 2 weeks at a time. Sicily, Pordenone, Naples, sort of. I didn't go. I went to Venice.
Yup.
I didn't go to Rome or Florence, but I definitely want to go back. I loved it because it's just when you go there. I mean, you're on vacation, of course, but like when you go there, it automatically sets the tone of like uh you're not expected to do anything. You know, I mean, I think they have such a different lifestyle, and it's like I don't know. I fit right in. I'm like, yeah, this is perfecto. You know, like sure,
That means perfect popper, I think.
yeah.
Thanks for
A
the
lot,
translation.
a lot of people think it's perfecto, but it's actually perfetto. Which anyway, I don't speak Italian, but I play in Italian on TV. So actually, I'm not even Italian. I'm 1% Sardinian. I just found out through Ancestry, but I grew up in New Jersey. So like by default, you're kind of Italian. Like you know how to cook Italian food and whatever. It doesn't make sense, but all my neighbors were Italian. You know, are you guys Italian? Are you Italian, Max?
I am 25%.
Wow.
Hmm.
What about you, Popper? Anything?
No, not that I'm aware of. I'm half German and half American Mott.
Wow, nice. I know. I'm 30% big surprise, surprise. 30% Jewish, which by religion I was raised Catholic, so you can imagine the sort of like strangeness that I had to put up with growing up. And then my mother always said that we were Irish. It turns out I'm 25% Scottish, and
Yeah.
then like 20% German or something. And then for years I was like, "Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, yay!" Now that's all been a farce, you know, for me.
Italian or Irish. It's all been a sham.
It's a sham. My whole life has been a sham.
It's been a lie.
Exactly. I just chewed my Zotz.
I heard you chewing it.
See, that's the best part about them. Like they're chewable. Like you don't have to break your teeth. You know?
After how long though?
I guess a couple minutes, few minutes. Because you're enjoying the fizz. That's the thing. It's not just like a hard candy. That's one component. You got the flavor, then you got the fizz. Then you're like, you know what? I think I'm good to devour this now. It's very gratifying.
It's not like I was expecting like some kind of cheap hard candy that we've all probably had and not enjoyed.
Right.
But it's not like that at all. So
Right.
it's
Exactly.
first I was like, oh, it's hard candy. How's this gonna be?
Yeah.
But no, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
All right, Rob.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I think this time was a lot more manageable than last time. There's
Last
so
time
many
it was a
people.
zoo.
It was a
I-
zoo.
I
And I was
think
like manic. I was like, I know I was manic because I was all jacked up on caffeine and
on
whatever.
Zotz. You did lines of Zotz.
Lines of Zotz. Was I ever on with Andrea? I don't think so.
No, that was the Black Mirror episode that we didn't do.
Oh yeah. That's right. Popper doesn't watch Black Mirror, do you?
No, I have never seen.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, I really think you gotta watch it.
Yeah, Pop.
Why watch it when I can just listen to Mags and Andrea tell me all about it?
It's one of the best, smartest shows. But what's weird about it now is that all that stuff that, you know, from the time the series came out to now, like is coming true, right? Like, don't you feel like the tech is going so fast? Because it's a very sort of like technological twist sort of show. But now all this stuff is like happening, you know, and it's kind of weird. I can break it down, but I'm not going to.
Okay. We'll have to save that next for another time
Yeah, on the next episode,
on a very special Pop and Mags.
on a very special Papa Mags. Yeah.
All right, Rob.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you both at ThedaCon.
Yeah.
It'll be great. I think it'll be a blast.
Yeah.
The rodeo's in town.
I heard that. Yeah. Well, we certainly appreciate you joining us, and we wish you the best of luck with the drop, and we'll be
Thank you.
certainly interested in playing along for sure.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks,
All right,
Rob.
Appreciate
have a
it.
great
All right.
night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Papa Max Podcast.
You have been listening to the Pops and Mags Pinecast. Music provided by Sushi Cat. Like what you hear? Send that cat a very nicely worded compliment on Twitter at JustAddSpam. Pops and Mags is a Scumbag Hat production in association with Pam's Day Spa.